Good evening. And yeah, I know I look a hot mess. This new one, as you can see, is super tight, but the curls will fall within the next week and it will fluff out and I won't look like, I won't look crazy like this. But anyway, this is what I'll have on for the most of the summer until I get that other curly Q, the one just like the one I had. And I'll have that ready for my 4th of July weekend. So I have on my sunglasses because I hate this. I hate this part of it. But like I said, next week the curls will relax and then it will look a lot longer and more fuller than what it looks now. So excuse my appearance. And yeah, I have on the sunglasses. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to try to keep this short because that Joann or that liquidation store video was too long. But I had a good time in there today. So I guess if you watched that video, you saw what happened. Ended up spending much more than what I had anticipated. I went in with the $20 budget and spent $151, okay? But I got what I needed and something that I wanted, so hey, it is what it is. Okay, so let's get on with the gettings. First of all, I finished the shawl and I finished it on yesterday. And let me tell you, it took a life of its own. First of all, I did not have enough yarn. I was not going to beat the yarn chicken. In fact, where is my, hold on, I can show you what was left over. So I miscalculated because remember, this was a reworked shawl because the last time I made it, I had only chained 180 and I didn't think it wasn't big enough. I wanted it bigger. And so this time I chained 300. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have chained maybe 225 and I would have done well. But at row 40, it was either row 46 or almost row 50. I was down to this, okay? And I knew I was not going to finish, okay? Because I needed to get another 20 rows out, and this wasn't going to get me 20 rows. So I ended it right then and there. So therefore the shawl, actually, I love it because what it did, instead of coming down into a triangular point, it ended right here. Okay, so you see that end and then it goes across to this end. But actually, it turned out it's more like a horizontal shawl, but it still comes down my back and then the bottom part of it hits my waist. So I didn't need the point there. If I had gotten all the way through it and gotten to the point, that point would have came all the way probably down almost to the floor. It would have went past my waist. Right now, it is the perfect length. It stops right at my waist. It goes down my full back and all that. And then this is long enough, the top part of it, because like I said, I chained 300 to start this. And I was able to get did I do a 2-row? I think I did a 2-row border on this. And I will be steaming it out with the new steamer. But I'm not going to be doing it right away. And it's just to open up the fibers. This may not even need opening, but I can do everything with this shawl. First of all, I can wear it like this, like a triangular shawl. I love it like this. So I can wear it like this, and then I can snoot it. I could put it over my head and then I can take this side and zip it around like that. Why do I look like a I don't know what, but I look like I'm a piece of the mafia, okay? Okay, and then the other side, I can keep it down the front, or I can zip it to the back like that, or, I can, put it around. I just love this. This is going to be wonderful in the wintertime. I just love it, you guys. This is still my favorite yarn, and I've gotten closer. I believe this is merino wool. It's not superwashed because, superwashed merino is washable. I don't think this is washable. I think this is just plain merino wool. It's either merino wool or, let's see, I wrote it down. Hold on. Here we go. Wait a minute. Okay, it's either merino wool, Falkland wool, or, and what's the other one? Or a blend of merino wool and alpaca. I'm almost certain it's not alpaca because you would see the alpaca hairs. This is either merino because I pulled up soft wools online or on YouTube University, and and when I saw the how merino look. Now the superwash merino, number one, is washable. Number two, it is soft. But the other thing is superwash merino wool, from what I saw on the videos, it has a sheen to it. This does not have a sheen. I think this is just plain merino. And merino superwash is fairly cheap. It's not that much. But the regular merino costs more than the superwash. But I just love this. So what I'm going to do, actually, I plan to do it out of my spending money this month that I spent on this doggone steamer. So it'll be either later this month or next month. I will go to Little Knits and I'm going to order 2 skeins of merino because their price wasn't that high. So I'll spend maybe $25 total. And then I'm going to look at it and then I will know if it's like this yarn. But to look at it on online, it looked like this. And I'm hoping that's what this is. It has to be merino. And it's very soft. Like I said, I just love this. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so one of my other ways that I like it, I'll probably snood it for the most part because I like it in a snood like that, how it was. But I can take it, like I said, I can wear it long. I can bunch it up like this and just wrap it around. You know, I can wear it as a scarf in the wintertime. You know, I can wrap it around and have the 2 points, you know, at the end down my back. I can just do it. It's doing exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to be able to fling and sling. I wanted to be able to sling it, fling it, bling it, and all that. All it needs now is a death moth gin. Okay, so yes, I'm very satisfied with this, even with it being, you know, only halfway. I can wear it backwards like this. Oh, so I'm going to look online to see different ways to wear a triangular scarf or different ways to wear a shawl. I could fling it on one side. I can wear it like this. And what I like too is it goes all the way down, you know, to the a little bit past the elbow. As you can see, I can do it like that. And when I wear it, you know, like just a regular shawl, it covers the arm and it's very warm, even with the holes. I just love this. I can't brag enough. And let me get going because I should be done by now. So what am I doing now? Remember the scarf and I came on and did that, I did that steaming video, that short. Well, you knew I was going to make the rectangular shawl with that leftover Noro yarn. Well, that one color that just didn't quite fit in with the other two, I decided to make that scarf. Okay, so then last night I decided, okay, let me go on and start the rectangular shawl with the number 4 Noro and the number 11. Well, the number 4 was real thin, just like the number 2 was. But the number 11, the one that I made that blanket with, is thicker. It's more of a chunkier weight, maybe a 5 weight. This isn't. It's more or less like a 2 or 3 weight, just like the other one. So I was like, what can I do? Because it's not going to balance out. I didn't want something that was thicker and then the other one thinner. And I was like, well, let me put this with the scarf. Let's see if I can extend the scarf and just turn it into a shawl. And then I will use that leftover from the blanket. I might expand the blanket because all I have to do is take down I would have to take down that whole increase. And then, or you know what? Or I can make a wide border for it. I can do something, or I can take that yarn and make a scarf. And that's probably what I'll do because I actually had a barrel and a half of that. And so that would give me a nice scarf. So that's probably what I'll do. So in the meantime, I took the border off of the scarf And you can see where I had opened it up with the steamer, and then you can see where I've added the new. The new isn't opened up yet, so it's it's not open like this. But once I open it, and it's long enough, it's gonna be thin, but it's going to be a rectangle shawl when I'm done, because I still have all of this left, and I've done about 10 rows thus far. And then I have this left, and then I have this, which is a combination of both colors. I forgot that I had made this ball out of both of the colors when I had, played with it before. So I have this whole thing. So I have the one color, and it matches perfectly, I think, because there's some of the same colorways in it. So it blended together nicely, I believe, and it added more colors to it. The colorways, it added the orange, it added burgundy, it added another blue, but the lavenders are the same. That mustard gold, it's in this one too. That's coming up. So I'm really pleased with this. It balances out perfectly. And I tried it on last night, and it's already big enough to snood, but it's going to get bigger. This is going to be probably, when I'm done with this, and once I open it up, it's going to be at least more than twice the size that it is now. So it's going to be a nice size. But like I said, it's thin. So this will be worn with, my more casual or dressier outfits. Because like I said, I redid my wardrobe. And then my sister comes over the other day. She was like, "I've got you an early birthday gift." And I'm like, "What?" She brings this big bag. And so she bought me 3 new tops, which I actually loved, because our taste in clothes aren't the same. I like more casual, comfortable. She likes the clingy, flingy stuff, and I don't. And I told her, I was like, "Sherry, if you buy that clingy, flingy stuff, if you get me something, please go with the cotton, because, I don't want my ostomy bag to show. And the clingy, flingy stuff will have the imprint." So she ended up buying me 3 cotton blouses that are very nice. One is pink, and I'm so happy because I didn't own anything pink. And then she got me some denim, they're not shorts, but they're the kind that go to the knee, or to the ankle rather. And I was like, I've never worn knickers. That's what I called them. I was like, I've never worn them. I was like, but hey, there's always a first time. So the denim ones will look nice with that pink top. And then, what else? And then she got me a pair of black pants, which I needed, and something else. I can't remember. So yeah, so this scarf, then with my cousin's funeral coming up next week sometime, my distant cousin's funeral, I will probably debut this, because it's nice, and it can be worn even in the heat, and whatnot. And if they have on the air in there, or a fan or whatever, this will keep me warm. So I will debut this, because I have some brand new burgundy pants, and the top to the burgundy pants, it has burgundy in it, but it's like burgundy in another color. This would look perfect with it. Okay, so now on to the liquidation store haul, my final one. And like I said, it's final. It is final because it's closing next week. And then White Lake, that's off limits, because I just cannot deal with that traffic. A normal 10-minute trip took me an hour each way when I went 2 weeks ago. So I can't, no, last week. It was actually last Friday, a week ago. I cannot do that. I'm not doing it. So therefore, I'm done. Okay, so, but before we get to that, let me show you. Okay, my next project, I frogged the patriotic market bag. I was like, I do not like this thing that, remember it was the French market bag? I frogged it. And so this is all, I used this much yarn for that bag. Guess what? This will make a shawl. So for my 4th of July trip, I'm making, and this, between this and the rest of the cone, I have enough to make a nice little trashy shawl. So I'm gonna do that. And I found these. Hold on, y'all. Now I gotta grab them all out. So I'm going to adorn the shawl with these. and I've been waiting for the perfect project to use this with. Actually, I made a patriotic bag for our governor, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. She's the governor of Michigan. And so my friend who's running for mayor, he knew Senator Rosemary Bear. And so I had made my friend who's running for mayor, I had made a Quirky Q bag to donate because they did this big art show downtown. And so he had items that he had as an artist, and then he had some other items that were donated. And so I donated a Quirky Q bag, and I told him just sell it and then use it towards your campaign or whatever. So I did that. It was a Fruit Loop bag. I had some Kellogg's. I had some Kellogg's fabric, just like that Wonder Bread. It was novelty fabric, and so I made a bag the color of Fruit Loop cereal, and then the bag I lined it with the Kellogg's emblem, and he said that thing sold quick. Well, Senator, at that time it was Senator-elect Rosemary Bear, asked Mike where did he get that bag, and he told her and everything, and she wanted to know if she commissioned me to make 5 bags, one for herself, and then by the time I got finished with it, she had become, senator, and she came right to my home to pick up her bags and everything. So it was one for her, one for her daughter, I think her granddaughter, and another daughter. It was 5 altogether. And so, when I did that, I made a patriotic bag for the governor. I was like, okay, if anybody sees the governor, it will be her as a senator. So I said, will you do me a favor, Senator Bear? She was like, sure. I was like, if you see Governor Whitmer, will you give her this bag? Tell her it's a gift from me. And so she did it. And, oh man, the letter is in my other room. I'll show y'all the letter in my next video. Anyway, Governor Whitmer sent me a letter thanking me for the bag. So she did receive it and everything. So, of course, I as soon as I knew that she had the bag, I was like, okay, she has a one-of-a-kind bag. Now it's about to be 2 of a kind. So I made myself one exactly like it. But anyway, during that time, I put a button on hers, a United States button, because I couldn't find the rest of mine. So I just found them. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to take that patriotic yarn and I'm going to make me a trashy shawl out of it for the 4th of July. So I have this. This is a vintage button that I bought at the flea market years ago. So I'm going to use this one. I love this. I love the rustic look, and you can tell it's worn. Then I have this one that I bought at a Goodwill store. And I bought this one at the Goodwill store too. So I'm a put all the buttons on the shawl. And then these, I forget, I bought these new somewhere, but I thought they were cute. This one is just a star, so that'll go on the shawl. And then I bought a donkey from when I was a Democrat. I'm now independent. After last year's, we won't even talk about the election, okay? But I became an independent. So when I voted in the election, I voted as independent, and I'll leave it at that because I don't talk politics, really. But anyway, so here it is. So I probably won't be putting the donkey on the shawl. Okay. Now, okay, so that's that. And now we can wrap it up, okay? So let me show you my haul from the liquidation store, and we will get off. Okay, so I ended up not buying the cotton yarn. I can leave that, I left that. Y'all saw in the video where I left that because I have so much cotton yarn. Now, I don't have turquoise, but that's okay. I can always get some turquoise yarn from somewhere. Now, that sparkly yarn, oh, I hated putting that back, but you know what? That was going to be close to $20, and I thought, hey, I wanted to keep my budget under, hold on. Okay, I need to grab that yarn. Okay, I wanted to keep my budget under, I wanted to keep it at 150 or below. And with that, it would have took my budget up to 170 or higher, more than likely higher. I'm going to round it to 180. And so I was like, I got to let this go. As much as I want a sparkly, but I can always find some sparkly yarn, even on the fiber sites. I can find some sparkly yarn for a later time. That's just something I didn't really need. And although it was half off and everything, still, I can, you know, I could do without it. So I put that back. And what else? Oh, I ended up putting those chip clips back because that mess, even after the 50% off, that mess was $10. I was like, bye-bye. So I put all that back. So I only bought 3 items or 3 items. The first thing I did not want to part with the wind chimes, and they were a little cheaper than $20. I think they were like $17 when they rung up. So I think these were 70% off and not either. They were probably 60% off instead of 50% off, because there was a price. It said $39.99 or something like that there, but they were actually cheaper. And I had that happen last week with that cotton yarn that I had gotten. So basically this rung up under the $20 that I thought I was going to be spending. So I told her, okay, I'll keep this, because I was thinking about putting these back. And then when it rung up under 20, I'm like, because I will regret it if I do not keep these. And so I'm fascinated. I love rainbows. I love seeing them in the sky and all that stuff. You know, I look out for them. You know, when it rains and the sun comes out, I just love rainbows. And so therefore, I just had to get this. And so this is going to be hung in my greenhouse because it's so, you know, delicate. I don't want to hang this outside. So I have enough wind chimes outside. And then fortunately, my neighbor on both sides, they love wind chimes. So between theirs and mine, we be banging up the neighborhood, okay? Especially when it's storm. But they have nice sounding wind chimes, and then so do I. So it sounds good together whenever it's a breezy day, especially, you know, a light breeze. You just hear the little ding ding. That's probably why we're dealing with animals and stuff. But anyway, these are going to be hung in the greenhouse with my hippie decor in there. Okay, so I'm glad I got that too. I don't regret it. I felt good about getting that, although that would have been, I would have saved $17 and I would have been, you know, under. Then I got the cold boo yarn, but I didn't get that 9th ball. I just bought the 8th. And so this is going to be nice. This is 50% cotton and 50% rayon. And it's real soft. I said I was going to double it. And I think I will, because this is a 2-weight yarn. Or actually, it's a 3-weight yarn. So that'll put me right at a chunky weight, right around a 5. It won't put me at a 6, although 3 and 3 is 6. But I don't see this putting me at a 6. I can see where by doubling this, it'll put me at, okay, and to make the mesh shawl with this, it's going to drape beautifully because of and it has bamboo in it also. It's 50% cotton. I mean, 50% cotton, 50% rayon, but it said made with bamboo. So whatever that means, I don't know what that means. So I have 8, which means I'll be using 4, and that will be enough to get the 54 rows for the shawl. So this will be later down the pipe because it's denim. And that's something I had been looking for, some denim yarn. I hadn't been able to find any anywhere. And so because this is denim color, this will go with any jeans that I wear, like on a Saturday, especially during, you know, this farmer's market season or even in the winter. And it's going to be nice and warm. So I can wear this as a scarf or a shawl. So this will be a later project. So I'll put that in with my fiber bag because cotton is fiber and so is rayon. I guess rayon is fiber. Okay, so and then last but not least, let me get it, y'all. It's way over here. Okay. Y'all saw this, the Rowenta. And I'm telling you, those of you who know. Rowenta is a very good product. Like I said, I have a Rowenta iron. And I had actually bought that Rowenta iron that I have. Remember when Kmart went out of business? Kmart, before they went out of business, just like the liquidation store, they named it because it took over a year for them to get it liquidated and get everything out of those super Kmarts here in Michigan. what did they name it? It was called K Dollar. That was the name of it. And so basically everything were at liquidation prices. And wait a minute, and theirs were true liquidation prices, okay? You were getting a deal. It wasn't like what they're doing now with Joanne. You know, that was before folks got greedy. But anyway, K Dollar, I remember my mother and I, we bought an air mattress. That thing was marked at $300. We paid $50 for it. My mother said, we got to get it. We bought our deep freezer because one while Kmart and Sears had merged, so there were appliances there. So they had a deep freezer there for like $100 and something. I'm still using a deep freezer. And we're talking 20 years ago because Kmart closed here in no, it hasn't been quite 20 years. They closed here like in 2009-ish or 2010. So it's been close to 20 years. It's been about 14, 15 years ago. And all that. And then my mother's stroke would have been 12 years ago this year, you know, so in June will mark 12 years since her stroke, and I took care of her for 7. So this was way before then, way before. We weren't even roommating at that time. She had her house and I had mine. But we went in together and we bought that freezer. And then, you know, when we did move together, then we both had the freezer, and now I have it. Freezer works just fine. Okay, and then what else did we get? I can't remember. But anyway, we cleaned up when the Kmart went out of business and became K Dollar. And then when they closed it, they didn't announce anything. It's like one day it was just gone. My mother and I were crushed, okay? We were like, oh no, our good thing is gone. But we cleaned up during that time. And I'm still, and during that time, I bought the winter iron, and that was through Sears and Roebuck because, like I said, Kmart had merged with Sears. So when they decided to close, you know, Sears went back on their own until they finally bit the dust, you know, years later. But the stuff that was there was liquidated. The appliances, stoves, refrigerators, all that stuff that would normally have been, you know, part of Sears. And so that iron was that. It wasn't a Kmart brand. A Kmart item. It was a Sears item. And I might have paid, I don't know, I might have paid $10 for that iron. But it's been a long time. I said 25 years I've had it, but nope. 2000, it was either 2008 or 9, somewhere around there. So let's see. It's at least 14, 15 years old, at least, if not more. But anyway, that iron works just as good today as it did when I first bought it, okay? And I'll use that iron probably the rest of my life. I would have to do something like drop it or cut it or, you know, something horrible would need to happen in order for that iron to go out. It is just, and I hope it don't go out now that I'm bragging about it. But I mean, I sound like a commercial, but yes, I would happily do a commercial for free for winter because it's built to last. Okay, I don't know about now, but this is heavy enough. So this steamer is going to do the trick. And like I said, I'll be steaming my furniture, my pillows. I can steam, you know, my mattress and stuff if I want to freshen that up, you know, because I have mattress covers on, so I could easily steam the mattress covers or whatever. It's just so much I can do with this. It's going to last me for the rest of my life. So I'm going to test it out on this once I finish this up. I'm going to test it out on this, and I'm going to have to take it outside to, if I decide to open up, but I don't even think I need to open up the other shawl because it already has the drape. I mean, it might be better if I opened up the fibers by steaming it, but it is feltable. So I don't want to take a chance and felt it, you know, by steaming it. So I'll see, because this thing's going to be powerful. It's not going to be like that little ugly steamer that I had the other day. But anyway, this is going to work well for this. And then, you know, I may open that up. But if I do open that other shawl up, it's so long and wide, there's nowhere for me to hang it. I'm going to have to take it and pin it to my clothesline and steam it outside. And fortunately, I do have electricity, so I can easily do that. Okay, you guys, so I've been on here long enough. It's starting to get dark now. So I'm going to get off of here. But I just wanted to show you. So this is my big parting gift, a big ticket item. Can you believe that? But like I said, I have a perfect score with big ticket items from Joanne. every big ticket item that cost over, I would say over $40. Cause let's see, the craft thing was back when I bought that, and that's been over 20 years. That craft stand, I think that thing was like, I forget how much it was, but anyway, that was half off. The Ginger scissors, y'all know, even 20 years ago when I bought those scissors, well, no, that was back in 2000 when they closed the Joann's that was at my mall. Ooh, they closed that back in I think it was 2009. Then they moved to White Lake then. So it's been well over 2009, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20. It's been 16 years. So even back then, the Ginger scissors cost you about $50 a pair. And I got them all for 50% off. And I bought every size that there was. And so I'm glad that I was able to do that. I even bought an embroidery pair, but they wouldn't fit my Clodhopper big finger. So, and they're around here somewhere, but I've got all those other ones and I just love them. And so anyway, then what else? My yarn, that ball